If you don't know who Baby Goth is, that's kinda obvious. There's a really good chance that hardly anybody really knows who she is. Well, this is Baby Goth, and she is an industry plant. I'm here to tell you the amazing, insane, and kinda sad story about how an artist sold themselves out to a record label to get a little bit of fame. An industry plant in music is often an artist who is very small, who ends up getting seen by a record label, and they see them as having the potential to make the record label money, and so they take them in, give them connections, give them everything that they think they'll need to be able to ram them down consumers' throats until they become somebody that way that they can make the company money, and it also offers the person a chance at success, so it's usually a very enticing deal to new artists. How is Baby Goth one of those? Well, let me show you. Right off the bat, the fact that she only has one song, and that's actually featuring Lil Xan and Trippie Redd, and also that she featured on Trippie's album before her song even came out, should set off a fuck ton of red flags. But she also only has 285 followers on Twitter, one of her labels has less than 200 followers, her Facebook has just over 200 likes, her SoundCloud only has 1,540 followers with still just that one song, and her YouTube has 12,000 subs after putting out the official music video for swimming. But there's one social media giant that I left out, and that's Instagram. Because somehow, she has a fuck ton of followers. But it's not all from her music, and I'm gonna show you how. I could've just assumed that maybe she only promoted her Instagram so that that's why it was the only thing she was using, but it just seems strange to have all of these accounts, but only one of them had so many followers on it. Because of this being strange, I decided that that was not digging deep enough and that I had to go further, and goddamn did I strike a goldmine with this one. As much as Baby Goth likes to claim that Swimming is her only song that's out from her right now, and that's all she's done, that's not exactly the case. If you go back to a post from January 5th of 2018, you'll notice that she lists that she has a new song called Babyface and that an EP was on its way, which is obviously kind of weird for somebody claiming that they only have one song, but this is not that song. I also found it weird that since taking that screenshot, she has now edited out that she ever had a different song in that caption, and so that made me go a little bit like, maybe there's something to this. So I decided to search up the full name of the song, and I found some shit. It ended up leading me to Baby Goth's for Desgram with new information showing that there was another name there, which was Bria Bueno, something that I had no clue what that meant, but I decided to keep going and just drag that and search that instead. And as soon as I did that, I was flooded with my page of showing that there was an artist named Bria Bueno who had a bunch of songs, so I obviously kept going. And guess what? It's Baby Goth. Well, Baby Goth from 2017, not Baby Goth, Bria Bueno, different name. Once again, this led me to more questions than answers because I was left thinking, well, fuck, maybe she just decided to change her name and that's all it was, but that still just didn't add up. Because in late 2017, when her EP came out all the way up until now, her music wasn't really getting that many plays. And not only that, but her SoundCloud only had 350 followers, which is, once again, kind of weird for somebody who's claiming that they are a SoundCloud rapper, which isn't true. But no matter what, it's obvious that she wasn't blowing up from any of this previous music that she was making in late 2017. Her biggest song that she actually had was on Spotify, and it only had just over 14,000 plays, which, yeah, it's decent, but it's not, you know, a big enough song for some of the biggest names in rap right now to recognize you, let alone one of the biggest record companies in the world to give a shit about you to sign you. So once again, I went back to doing what I did before and just searched Bria Bueno into Google again and tried looking around to find some new stuff because I was kind of stuck at a dead end for it just didn't make any sense. And finally, when I did that, I found something that started making the pieces fit a little tighter together. I ended up finding an Indiegogo campaign from her from around 2016, where she was asking backers to help her achieve dreams of making a professionally produced EP in LA. She set a goal of needing $14,200 to be able to get it done, and her reasoning for this was she needed the money because she needed all the proceeds that would go towards the production of the 4-song EP, the travel expenses of the trip, and a hotel for herself, her husband, and her son. Wait, what the fuck? She has a husband and son? That's gonna make the future a little awkward when little Timmy has to walk around seeing his mom being held like a dog by Trippie Redd online. After seeing this, you'd be like, well, okay, well, shit, that's probably how she was able to fund the EP that she made and also be able to get the connections that got her to make the song Swimming. And that would be true if she actually didn't get the Indiegogo to flop, which only made 2% of the total profits needed. Once again, I was going out of my fucking mind because I was like, I got another dead end and no more new information. I just know a little bit more about her. But then that's when I decided to keep reading the Indiegogo and found more interesting information about her. She mentions in there that she had started using magazine publications and social media sites to promote her voice, and that she's been getting a lot of followers, which was 43K on Instagram at the time, and hoped that she could one day release her music. What this means is that she basically got all of her followers because she was a sponsor machine, and she would basically model off products by other companies, and I actually did find a few of these things. She would commonly post sponsored stuff on Instagram, and even did a video clip for a company here where she wore their shirt while she was singing for their YouTube channel as well. She also kind of gained a small following on Tumblr, and as you can see from her bio, she lists that she's a promoter, and she posts pictures on her Tumblr of her doing promotion stuff, and she posts pictures of her husband and just daily life stuff as well. But just because we have a basic understanding of where she came from until she got to where she is now, how does this help anything with finding out that she's an industry plant? Well, that part comes a little bit easier now. It kinda seems, you know, a little weird that out of nowhere, she's just hanging out with really big rappers. It goes from just like normal by herself to just, boom, they're just there out of nowhere. The sponsors explain how she possibly was able to pay for her EP to be done, but like I said, the EP kind of flopped. Remember how I said that she featured on Trippie Redd's song before she'd even put out her own song? Well, Trippie is signed to UMG and Caroline Distribution, and the other label Baby Goth is signed to is Republican Records, which is owned by UMG. Not only that, but Lil Xan is signed to Columbia Records, which is owned by Sony Music, and for anyone who knows Vivo, then you should know that UMG and Sony aren't new to working together on something to be able to make a bigger profit in the end result. One last thing you might have noticed throughout this video is the fucking huge change that Baby Goth went through, from being just a normal looking person to just absolutely face tatted and just completely different in the span of like a year. I personally think that it has to do with the fact that if you were going to be working with a record label and you had to do what they say, they might make you do things to make you more marketable to the audience that they want you to market towards. Her message of positivity and modesty turned into money, guns, chains, sex appeal, and drugs. All within the span of a year. It just doesn't seem like natural progression, to me at least. Looking more into her, it's not honestly that surprising that she would give up so much just to become successful. When you look more at the Indiegogo, things also become clear when you see that she says that she had come from a troubled home and that music became her way of coping, and that success in music is all she ever wanted. So many other artists are out there that could definitely sing better than her, or sing at least more like fit the real style. People could have actually come from these places where these tattoos and crazy things made sense, and they came from different hardships to be able to come to where she is. But she wasn't a face-tatted gangster. Like, that was never her thing. So it just feels so forced, and there's no way that this is natural progression. But yeah, when you really look at how everything ended up turning out, it just doesn't seem normal to me. To be able to go from an absolute nobody to then featuring on one of the best rap albums that came out this year, especially the best album, in my opinion, that came out from Trippie Redd at all, to be able to feature on that without any listed songs of your own, and then have Trippie Redd and Lil Xan feature on your first song, it just doesn't make any sense. There's no reason that she could not have done this naturally, but obviously some people will take that road of giving up their life, selling their soul, as some people say, just to be able to get the fame that they want. But you don't really own yourself anymore. Like I said, she's got a husband, she's got a kid, and she has to live the rest of her life with those face tattoos now, and with all of this weird shit that she has caused in everything. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you learned anything from this video, make it be that, labels. Not even once.
Baby, I love you. You're so